Yeah.
Yeah, you wake up at this time, though, man.
Yeah, stop going to bed at 5:30, old man.
Literally waking up at 4:30 a.m.
But when you're Marky Mark, you can do what you want. I bet that makes him so mad. Someone's like, Marky Mark!
I think it still happens to him to this day. Like, it never doesn't hurt him.
Oh, yeah.
Even Salt Bay was probably like, Marky Mark, you come to get some of my elbows.
I don't know. I bet he gets real pissy.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. He's already got that fucking attitude.
Marky Mark, you want to do a desk pop? That's my favorite Mark Wahlberg movie.
Really?
The other guys?
Mine's Boogie Nights.
It's close. You see his dick. That's why you like it.
Yeah,
It's like the most obvious prosthetic penis.
Well, he goes, I've only ever taken one thing from a movie. I've only ever taken one prop from a movie. Hey, cheers and welcome to From Behind the BarCast, the podcast for bartending,
service industry
and drinking in general. I'm Paxton. This is Clint. And
Cheers.
What are we drinking today? Well, I'll tell you what we're drinking because I came up with it. All right. You're not going to believe this. Okay. I took some dark rum by Cruisin. And it's the Blackstrap Molasses dark rum. And I mixed it with some ginger beer.
Ooh, and a little bit of
lime.
Squeeze lime.
And we have a dark and stormy.
Yes. Not in stormy because that's trademarked.
Oh, right. Because, well, you can tell the folks.
We looked into the origin of the dark and stormy
because I was going to call it a rum and ginger beer.
Yeah, he was like, it's a rum and ginger beer
with a lime.
Technically, with a lime, with a lime wheel though. The wheel makes it real fancy.
And now when I'm not at work, and
you do lime.
I do lime wheels now.
Lime wheel, yeah. But so Gosling's and Barrett apparently in the 90s had some beef, and then Gosling's trademarked dark and stormy. But we looked
up
the
name of the drink, not the drink.
Not the drink, the name of the drink. So you can't use dark and stormy.
This is illegal dark and stormy.
This is illegal. If you don't use Gosling's dark clubbing seal rum and Gosling's ginger beer, it's technically illegal. It's not a dark and stormy. It's a rum and ginger beer.
Right, yeah.
It's a Paxton special.
Yeah, so that's what we made. TM, motherfucker. It's illegal if you make this without calling it a fucking BarCast, motherfucker.
Calling it a BarCast. A darkened BarCast.
The reason they call it a dark and stormy is because a sailor by the name of William S. Scuttlebutt from the Royal Naval Academy of Air Force.
From 1860.
In Old England.
The 1860 Air Force.
He said you'd have to be a fool or a dead man to sail under a sky with a stormy color such as this. So, if you guys didn't know, that's the origin of dark.
I know most of you were very, very curious. They're like, wait, tell me what it is.
Now you know.
I must know.
Now you know. You can also find us on Instagram at From Behind the BarCast. You can email us FromBehindTheBarCast@gmail.com. We have a P.O. Box, P.O. Box 191, Tybee Island, Georgia, 31328. Send us any T-shirts or bar stuff or cups or fucking anything that you feel like sending. We're also on Facebook. And we're on YouTube. Just search Paxton Eugene or From Behind the BarCast. And today, we're going to open up with a little shout out to our university system in the US of A, because I dealt with a bit of the university system at least in the southern states of the US of A this weekend. And the first one was, I'm going to call him the physics cowboy, because this guy came in and very nice dude, but I mean, gleaming white cowboy hat on.
Oh, like a nice super.
I mean, it was like legit. Like he
hangs it up every night in the appropriate place.
And someone
got a box for it.
Someone gifted it to him for riding a horse for X amount of hours or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
he was on Yellowstone. Got it.
Yeah, you don't walk into any old hat store and get this bitch right here. You know,
it wasn't from High Tide.
No, yeah, exactly. And it didn't have frilly edges or anything that. You know, so he comes in and. The reason I believe him when he said this is because he wasn't telling anyone of interest that would have been that this would have seemed like cool to, or this wouldn't have impressed anyone that he was telling. But he was like, "Yep, last year of my physics degree at the University of," it was a pretty big southern university. I can't remember what it was. It was in Louisiana somewhere, something like that.
There's just LSU, I think, right?
Well, I mean, Lafayette, maybe, I don't know.
Lafayette, Louisiana Tech.
But in there's like there's a law. Tulane is like a pretty whatever
the green wave of Tulane.
It might not have even been fucking Louisiana. Well, anyway, so this guy is graduating with a degree in physics, and the next day I was pulling out of my house and I see the same gentleman from the night before walking down the street with jeans on, and mind you, here in South Georgia, it's 101 degrees.
It's been a warm week.
Plus humidity, no shirt, and the cowboy hat. And I was like, I think your physics degree should tell you that the more skin, like...
Yeah, that it's just showing here.
Maybe pop the hat off, maybe take the cowboy boots off, maybe take the jeans off.
I took a year of physics. You learn about thermodynamics first year, first week.
So I'm like, if you're fucking in charge of engineering anything that I'm ever going to ride or ride on...
Maybe it was cowboy physics.
This is how you kick a horse in his ass and make it run.
This is, maybe his friends with Temple Grandin. He's been back to the farm.
You know what? Maybe he's just like, I like the way the jeans feel. It feels like a hug.
The jeans and the hat together. We promised there'll be a week we don't talk about Temple, but it's not.
It was supposed to be this week. And someone mentioned it. They were like, I think you talk about Temple Grandin more than you talk about drinks now.
Well,
have you seen
the movie?
Have you seen the 100%
movie? Of Rotten Tomatoes is all I'm saying.
So then not on the other end of that spectrum, but in the same vein, we had a group come in. They're from another pretty big Southern university, and one girl started taking a liking to one of our servers because I guess he did a shot with her or something like that. And
one of your more attractive servers?
No, not at all. Okay. No, it wasn't Hunter.
So I was just thinking, I was like, so it wasn't Hunter or one of the girls? Okay.
So she was like, "Where are you from?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm from Australia."
Alex is cute.
Yeah.
Alex
Yeah.
Well, he's a bartender.
He's a bartender, not a server. So he goes, "I'm from Australia. I come here on the weekend." She goes, "Oh, hush. No, you're not." So right
Did
there,
he use an Australian accent?
No, he didn't even use an Australian accent. So right then I was like, "Oh, they're having like a fun little discourse." So then she goes, "No, really?" He goes, "No, I'm from Australia." She goes, "Listen here. I ain't stupid. And that story you're telling me, I don't believe it." And he's not trying to fucking...
He's not using an accent.
He's not giving any effort into making...
Did you say he knew Brett or anything?
No.
Oh,
he was literally just going... No, what? Why don't you get it? I'm from Australia and I come here on the weekends. She goes, "Listen, I'm about to graduate college and I'm not stupid. You ain't fooling me, mister, into thinking that you're from Australia and that you come here on the weekends." And even he was dumbfounded. He was like,
I can't believe she's still
this isn't fun anymore. She just kept harping on, she's like, "I'm not stupid. You're not going to fucking convince me that you're from Australia."
Anyone that keeps saying I'm not stupid,
exactly.
I'm pretty questionable.
If you start mentioning things like, "I'm 27 years old, I'm not stupid.
I can do magic. Watch my thumb."
It's like, so what is the level of what being stupid is or stupid isn't in your town? Like, do you not take the cheese off of the wrapper? I mean, the wrapper off of the cheese before you eat it?
She's not eating a urinal cake in weeks. She's been doing great.
She peels the orange before she eats it.
Yeah, still.
Oh, she's smart. Dude, you see
I've only eaten one banana in the bunch peeled.
She took the orange part off of that orange before she ate it.
The next thing she's going to do is not eat the seeds.
She spit the seeds out of that watermelon when she was eating it.
It's interesting, though, because I went to school in Valdosta for a year, and you would meet some similar-sounding folks to her, and then you would have, those that had traveled there from places with a little more common dialect to the average American.
Sure.
But you definitely would meet some I'm here because my mama went to school here, and I'm getting a communications degree, I think, or general studies. I might major in general studies. That's not a major, lady. That's you just done a little bit of everything. You have no degree that's palpable.
But what is a degree now any fucking ways, honestly, except a fucking...
I'm waiting tables and doing a podcast with 2 science degrees. So.
Yeah, exactly. Any degree today, now,
you have to have a next level degree to do almost anything.
Right, exactly.
I could go TA and teach labs with my degree now.
I was going to say, but even as a teacher, you're not respected and not paid.
I will not make what I make right now.
Yeah, and you're not paid enough for your education.
My hourly buy would be terrible.
If you just went to vocational classes in fucking high school and learned how to be a fucking plumber or an electrician or a fucking drywall hanger.
When I laid tile, I made more money than I would have.
Yeah. You're going to make way more than you would teaching or fucking...
Just without a master's and higher education degree. You have to keep going to get there. And it's a ridiculous waste of time. I had to take a year of history.
Especially if you're not paying for it as you go. If you have a fucking $150,000 fucking student loan when you're done, you're fucked.
I got lucky where I had saved money going... I went to college for a year, dropped out for quite some time. When I went back, I had saved up money to pay for it myself, and I knew how to apply for scholarships. But I didn't get the Hope again, which is, if you're not from here, you have a 3.0, you get free school. But I didn't get the Hope again until my junior year. So I paid for 2 years of college out of pocket. And then when I ran out of money, I started taking loans out. And I paid back, I just finished paying my loans off. I paid back 103% or 105% more than I took out, and I paid it back pretty quick.
What's the starting interest rate though?
It was up to 8.1 when I took out max loan.
Holy
so
shit.
my last year I was getting 2 degrees at once basically, so I couldn't work, so I had to take out money to support myself, so I took max loans out.
Yeah.
So with that came the initial loan they'll give you with no interest at all until you graduate. After a year of graduation, then you start getting interests. But the add-on for the extra money, which is just cash, was immediately at 8.1%. So when I got out, it was the other half at this percent, and then 8.1. So it was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Which is, it's smart to give people a 4-year degree and be like, all right, you're out. You're going to make $35,000 a year, and you owe $15,000 a year. So
yeah, right. Yeah. And then does the interest accrue as you go over time?
Yeah.
Like fucking if you're in arrears.
And for reference, 40 years ago, to go to college, there was 31. Now it's 31 times the same amount to go to a public college as it was 40 years ago.
Yeah.
31 times.
Because they started to realize,
we know the economy's gone up that much.
Well,
right?
the bubble burst between okay, college education got you ahead 40 years ago.
Yeah.
You were automatically ahead 40 years
yeah.
ago. Now a college education, you're automatically behind because you owe so much fucking money.
And now they milk classes. I took history, the USA before 1872, and then I took a year of history. Guess what I would never have needed going to PA school? To know jack shit about American history, or like English beyond writing papers. There was just so much I had to I took fitness walking, for goddamn sake. I took a class called fitness walking.
You can take bowling at one.
I took scuba diving also. My other PE credit was scuba diving.
Fitness walking.
But you know why I took that class? I was a freshman at Valdosta State, and my roommate was like, hey, my friend took this last semester, and it was just him and another person and all girls. So we would smartly just stay right behind a group of girls and just watch booties.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And after about 6, 7...
That's an A+ booty.
Well, after about 6, 7 classes, the German teacher was like, you are boys, you have to win. And he was like, if you don't finish first every day, you're going to take off your grade.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Some of them girls were serious as shit. And had the moves they do.
So then if you started being actually competitive, then the girls were like, fuck this.
We had to fucking cheat. We would get out of sight. We would run. And they would try to tell us. And I was like, you put us in a position where we have to cheat to win. He made us watch videos. If you're ever bored, go watch fitness walking in the Olympics. It's a fucking real thing. And
because those hips are going fucking crazy.
We watched a video of how to do that. And there was 2 girls that were like, the next class.
Their hips are touching their elbows almost.
Yeah,
right?
it's such a weird.
I mean, their armpits.
There's a weird way to do all that moving, and I was like, let's just run. Because the first couple of classes, we would just get high as shit and be like, oh, yeah.
I'm walking for fitness.
Yeah.
It seems oxymoronic.
Trying to
fitness walking.
Dicking somewhere is what I was trying to do.
A+ on that one.
Yeah, I could not get an A+ in getting laid in college. I got 2 thumbs down. I got a D.
You were always behind them. You should have been in front of them talking to them.
I guess so. I did not do very well in college.
My game was terrible during my college-aged years. I never went to college. But during my college-aged years, I had 0 game. It was because I'd never worked in the service industry.
See, I had a little bit, but not. I worked at Papa's on Whitmarsh and then on the Dolphin Reef in the summer out here. But I just didn't, I fell in love with a girl my 7th or 8th week there. I hooked up with one chick, and then I fell in love with this chick, and I only got hooked up with her one time, one weekend, I guess. We came to Savannah, and we hooked up on the way here 2 times. It was fantastic. We'd on the side of the road, get here, go to the club, and meet some of my friends and party, and she fucks my homeboy. Yeah, well, I had to stay in the next adjoining room while they...
Oh, so
yeah.
You were on a trip here?
She and I came together, and she would never smoke weed because she made her too horny, and I got her to get high on the way here because I knew it would go down, and it went down.
So your plan worked.
It halfway, worked, and then we got to the club and hung out, and then we went back to my friend's house, and then they hooked up, and I was in the other room watching The Family Guy on DVD.
Did you hear anything?
No, I had the TV on. At first, I could. I was all the way up because she was very vocal, and she never gave it up again.
Weed makes me horny, Clint.
Yeah, she was real. She drove a single cab pickup truck.
Oh, nice.
A full size Dodge pickup truck.
Oh wow. I don't smoke. I mean, I used to smoke when I was younger or whatever, but I never smoked weed when I had a service industry job.
It's different sometimes.
And I quit. I quit smoking when I was 24 or 25, just because I started having panic attacks. I smoked a lot. I barely drank until I was 24, 25, because I didn't care about going out to bars or anything. I was always in bands and stuff, and we would get high and just play music and stuff, and we'd eat acid and mushrooms and drink sometimes or whatever, but it was always at a house party or it's not, just at someone's house or in a field somewhere. It was sort of like our high school days.
Speaking of being southern,
right,
in a field somewhere.
Yeah, and so it didn't matter to me. But one day I smoked like I normally would, and my heart was like thumping, and I was like, "What the fuck, man?" I was like, that was nothing. The next day, the rest of the night, I was like, well, I'm not smoking again. I watched The Labyrinth and went to sleep, whatever.
So the non-stressful movie.
Yeah, right.
Where's that baby?
Yeah. Toby! I didn't mean it, Toby. Come back.
Why is his dick so big? I mean,
his dick was big because I read this. If you've never seen Labyrinth, David Bowie had a giant cock in it. Well, he had a giant cock in real life.
Giant cock elsewhere also.
But I read this Rolling Stone article, and he dated one of his managers. He was like, when he was younger, he like sort of went between guys and girls, like. He was more girls than guys, but he didn't really give a fuck.
I mean, fuck Mick Jagger.
He was David Bowie, whatever.
Him and Mick Jagger totally.
Yeah, for sure.
That
they at
video
least touched
with shoes on and stuff.
But so they were interviewing his manager in this Rolling Stone article, and he goes, the first time David walked across the room naked, his giant shaft like a weighty pendulum swinging to and fro as he crossed the corridor or whatever. I was like, nice.
She drank Dark and Stormy with that accent.
No, it was a guy.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, he did, yeah.
So he yeah. So
Too dark, too stormy.
so the next day I tried to smoke again. The story was about weed. I almost got all the way into David Bowie's penis. So the next day I tried to smoke again, and the same thing happened, which I didn't realize at that point was a fucking panic attack.
Was it sativa or indica? Or at that age, I didn't know that.
This was like I was like 23.
When I was that young, I wasn't really aware of.
And in 2004 and 5, like it was like Beasters.
Yeah,
this is what I knew.
Yeah,
there was the weed that you got from everybody.
Yeah,
and then the Beasters that were like $20
or swag.
More. Yeah, exactly.
Or it was 80% seeds.
Yeah, there wasn't fucking. It was like either weed without seeds or weed with a bunch of seeds. Like those were.
I was getting outdoor then. It was like halfway through there, so you got a few seeds.
Yeah.
So it would look like Beasters, but you'd open up a bud and seeds would fall out the middle.
Right. Yeah.
And you were like,
yeah. So this was just it was either really brown or really green, or with some orange flecks in it or something. So I started having these panic attacks, and so then I was like, well, if I can't do this one thing that's sort of been like a part of my life since I was 15 or 16, and which I thought was like a creative catalyst for me.
Which is for a lot of folks. I mean,
it can be, but once I stopped and I would like record music at night, like when I was super high, I'd record music at night and listen to it the next day. I'd be like, I would think it was genius the night before, and the next day I'd be like, who the fuck made that last night?
This recording was ruined.
This is the dumbest shit I've ever fucking heard. Like that part I thought was genius last night is fucking stupid. So that's when I started drinking, and because then even when I wouldn't smoke weed, I knew what a panic attack was, or my mind had the feeling of a panic attack.
When alcohol will kind of relax that a little
100%.
bit.
The first time I ever drank Wild Turkey was because I was like having a thing, and like I didn't have access to like Xanax or anything like that.
This turkey looks like he's calming. I
was just like 101 proof. I'm gonna fucking take 4 shots of that, and I would take a couple
Were you at the
shots.
Jinx?
No, I was at a liquor store. I went to a liquor. I was like, I got to do something.
Oh yeah.
So now I've learned to control. Like I haven't had a panic attack in a long time.
Didn't you try smoking again a few years ago?
Yeah. So when I moved in with my current roommate, he smokes all day, every day. I was like, I'll try, and I did. I was able to smoke a little bit, but then one night I was at work and I smoked, and I was like,
oh, that's not a place. If you're not into it like that,
right?
It's like you were saying about work. Like I've had certain jobs where I could smoke.
Yeah.
But my current job, like one of the owners smokes weed, and he'll come in. It'll be like 8:30. Like, hey, let's go outside and smoke. I'm like, first off, it's flower, so I can't go smoke flower and then go back
and then
inside
walk back in. You'll be
like, hey, how are you guys?
Yeah, so
I'm hungry too. So, and I smoke a pen a lot when I go. I use a pen for public usage because it doesn't smell. But
as everyone does, I think.
But I can't. I don't write anything down for the most part unless it's a table of more than 4.
6 people or something like that. Yeah.
And we've got 2. Most people get 2 courses, so there's a lot to remember. So if I'm high, I'll get the computer and be like, all right, I know she had a fish, and we've got 3 fish tonight. So which one was it?
And he had a steak at a temperature. And what temperature?
Oh, I can run that one. Medium rare. Everything's medium rare if I forget the steak temp. Because you can always go, oh, man, that grill guy's new.
Oh, did he send it out medium rare? I'm sorry. You said you wanted it medium well. Okay,
yeah. That's what I wrote down right here.
Yeah. I'll put it back in for a
second. I threw the paper away. My bad.
Yeah,
but like when you
can add temperature, you can't take it
I don't get anxiety when I'm high at work, except for when I get the computer. I'm like, so what I do now, and I don't smoke a lot at work. Usually it's when the last order is in, like the last entree order.
Yeah.
If I'm having a rough day, I'll go outside and hit the pen like twice. But I don't get like lifted.
But that's sort of like when the shift is winding down. You're not taking any more orders.
I mean, maybe dessert's going to come in, but nothing else. But I don't, because otherwise one, I ramble when I talk anyways.
Yeah.
If you get me high, I'll stand at a table for way too long.
So did you learn this by doing it? You're like
trial and error.
Yeah.
Trial and error. When I worked at Garibaldi's, which was a high volume, lot of work.
And it's like a pretty high-end restaurant too, right?
Yeah, and it was a lot of running around. And I got to a point where I was the head server at a very young age there, so I had to do more than just wait on my section.
Sure.
And I had lots of large parties. But I worked at a restaurant, we'll call it Billy's, on Wilmington Island. Billi', Billy's.
Billy's.
Amazing chef, one of the best chefs in Savannah.
Yeah,
Shout out to
guy.
Beer Bali.
Beer Smalley.
Yeah. And one of the people that I worked with was hard to deal with. And so the girl I was dating that also worked there, but only at night, was like, "Why don't you smoke before you work with her?" And I was like, "I don't know, I'll try it." And it actually worked that time because I knew the menu so well at the time, so I wasn't going to forget anything. But I only did it before lunch shifts because there was an hour and a half before we opened. So I'd smoke before I left the house. I had an hour and a half till I opened, so I was just kind of high. And by the time we got going, she would kind of back away.
Yeah, because I would think like if you're working with a high stress person and you got high, that would widen the gap between your stress level and the other person's stress level.
Yeah,
so it would be like. It would make it worse, but it actually made it more tolerable.
It did, just because she was so stressed out.
But it wouldn't have been
time.
as tolerable if you'd have had a menu that you weren't 100% familiar with.
If I had just started there, I would have quit because it was too much.
Yeah. Well, I'm just and being high before work, like if you're not like because you have specials every night at Circa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. At least there's new info every time you walk in.
Well, so it's not one of the nice things. We're tourist based, so a lot. I mean, we're 70% tourists, so. Our specials don't vary as much as they did at other places, which is good and bad. It's bad for the locals, but it keeps the kitchen consistent. With all the kitchen turnover right now, it's nice to actually have a pretty stable special list. Like Fridays and Saturdays, they run a bunch of different stuff. But during the week, it's usually what's left over from, what they had on Saturday night, and we'll have that Monday, Tuesday, and then nothing
Sell
Wednesday.
the fish, it's about to turn.
And then Thursday. Then when the staff gets it is when the fish is going to turn. We get fried fish sometimes. But so that makes it a little more easy. I've been there so long that the previous chef would just read through old specials. 70% of the time they were old.
Yeah, right.
So I knew them already.
So it was something that you had already
knew, but I still didn't.
With.
Also, getting high in a restaurant that has a lot of garlic and butter on their dishes is a terrible fucking idea when you have unlimited access to bread.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because I get hungry. You get hungry when you get high.
And you can just pick at something.
And I work out 3 days a week before work, so I'm hungrier than normal.
Yeah.
And if I'm hungrier than normal, and I gotta
worked out, hungry and high all together,
and there's bread and whipped butter and garlic and extra food all the time, I'm like, give me this. I'm boxing out. I'm like getting the escargot's mine. Like I'm making bad culinary choices at 8:30 on a Thursday. Yeah. But man, it tastes good because it just smells so good in our restaurant.
Right.
Kitchen's open air, like it's open to the dining room pretty much. So the smells just waft through.
Well, that was the thing. Something Bourdain said. He goes, people like there's one like basically well-known unkept secret that most people don't know about why restaurant food is so fucking good. And different from the way you cook it at home is because in the back of that fucking kitchen, they're putting so much butter and oil and salt and whatever on everything. So imagine if you're a person that doesn't work in the industry and you go out to eat once or twice a week, that's the only time that you're intaking it. Like, you have no idea what's like the caloric intake.
There's no calories on the menu
and
there.
You don't want to know, really. That's why you're going out to eat. You're going out to fucking whatever. So it's going to be very unlike when you cook at home. So
you're much more measured for yourself.
Of course, yeah.
And you should be.
And because you're only doing it, at small intervals. If you're working in that same place and you have access to every one of those tasty little things at all times. I only recently stopped eating at work at all. And it's just because it's so
fun. After 9 years?
Yeah. Jesus. Because I would still pick at stuff, you know what I mean?
There's always like a pizza that didn't get picked up or whatever.
Every day there's
So yours is pizza. Like mine is escargot comes out a lot.
Yeah.
It's the window for 3 minutes. We don't serve it, so we got to eat it, and it's just butter and garlic.
And snails,
but you have to have bread.
Yeah.
So you cut up that French bread, and then now you're eating. I'm eating a piece of bread that's an inch thick by 2 inches wide for every other bite of escargot, and then there's butter and garlic. So you soak it all up and it's so good.
But and then the temptation is there all the fucking time.
Every day.
So normally I lose weight during the summer, but after watching the last editing the last podcast on fucking YouTube,
we could get you a corset.
I feel a little fat, my friends.
I need a hug machine to squeeze my sides in.
I need a hug machine to squeeze my sides in. It's like being fat when you're not.
Speaking of being fat, you want to go eat some food?
Yeah. Well, I got one more topic for you, and it has nothing to do with. Did the sous vide timer go off?
Not yet.
Okay, cool.
I think we have 7 minutes left.
All right, cool. Yeah, we can fill up that 7 minutes. And this won't happen to you, but I'm sure it's happened to you before, and I just noticed it happening a lot. It's like I would figure it would have happened more over the summer than it has been, but it hasn't. But the past week, I've probably watched 10 tables or 10 dirty tables. People will walk up to them and sit at them for like a few minutes. And now we don't have a host or a hostess, whatever. So I get it. Like, you're kind of free for alling out there.
Yeah, you got to get in where you can.
But they would walk up to it, and then they'd sit at it and be like, start looking around like, what the fuck? And then they'd start cleaning off the table themselves or whatever. I was like, that doesn't really help anyone. Because if you clean that table off and you sit there, people are going to be like, oh, they must have been taken care of by another.
Somebody. I never thought about that. That somebody else must have come by and done that.
So then you got fucking, bar back, like these people that are like, oh, someone must have them. So now you just trying to help and clean off the table and whatever.
I'm a piler. I'll pile stuff up for you.
I will pile. But I'm not. But if I'm at a bar.
But I've never been to before. I'm not going to throw it in the trash can.
But but the same thing is like if you walk into a place and like something's dirty, it's not available yet.
Right. But at least go stand by it and be like, this is mine.
And some people will stand by it. But now, and I've noticed it with younger people who are like, oh, well, I'll just help these guys out by doing this. But then they get pissed when a server doesn't come over to them because all the other servers assume that they've been taken care of.
That makes sense, though. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah. So, I just started processing because before when I've seen that, I've been like, oh, that's probably cool. That's kind of cool of them or whatever. But then as I've watched it happen over and over again, I was like, oh, the reason they end up pissed off at the end of the night is because all the servers think someone else has already taken care of them.
Not and
then they'll start coming up to the bar.
They'll look
like,
at the computer and see who's got which table.
Right. Yeah, it's not like we have a fucking micro system in there. And then they'll start walking up to the bar like, hey, is anyone going to come see us? And finally, I was able to tell one person because I knew that they would accept it well.
Yeah.
I was like, look, man, this is what happens. If you clean the table off and sit down at it, someone else thinks that you've already been taken care of. You got a server,
yeah. So why go by?
So speaking of sitting down and eating, you have
we're sous videing
You brought a sous vide machine over
I brought the sous vide cooker over my container and a 2.58 pound tomahawk ribeye that yesterday, about 30 hours ago, I rubbed with a kind of a Santa Fe style seasoning I made.
Okay, all right. So I know Montreal.
Right, Montreal. That's in Canada.
That's
Santa
in Canada,
and
they make a great steak seasoning. And Santa Fe is in Oklahoma, where Temple Grandin's from.
Yes, Santa Fe, Oklahoma. It's the capital, right?
You know stuff. Yeah.
But just some more kind of like
I thought I saw some green stuff in there, like parsley.
Spices. Parsley. It's no.
Is it cilantro?
Do you want to guess? We'll guess while we eat.
Okay.
But it's basically it's a Tex-Mex style seasoning.
So I have a giant Lodge cast iron skillet. So we've been sous videing for an hour.
It's been the sous vide for an hour.
And it's going to be 127 Fahrenheit.
127 Fahrenheit straight the whole time.
What would that be Celsius?
So that's we'll have to ask the British baking soda. I don't know. But I also rubbed it with Amish butter. I buy logs of Amish butter.
Okay.
It looks like a guy chopped it up with an axe to get it done because it's just all misshapen.
Yeah.
It's great.
I buy the Irish butter, the Kerrygold Irish butter.
I like Kerrygold, but once every 3 or 4 months, I'll go to the market.
Well, I'd like to get Amish butter. I know they do everything by hand.
It's 4 pounds a chunk. But so I put the Amish butter on there and just kind of smash the steak together with it so the sous vide's into there. So when we sear it off, we're just going to use a touch of oil to do it. But what I've been finding I do is in the skillet, put the fat side, the thinner side down first, and use that fat to then put the steak in. I've been doing this for a few years. I eat a lot of steak.
I trust you.
Yeah, this is my second steak in 4 days.
Down here at our local IGA, ribeyes are $8.99 a pound.
Oh yeah,
all the fucking time.
The last ribeye I ate.
So you can get a fucking 2-pack, Fat Boys for $14 or $15. If you go to the Kroger or the Publix or anything off of this island, which normally the further out you get here, the more expensive things are.
Not IGA. It's local grocer.
Well,
and the thing is, the meat's better at IGA than it is at Kroger for sure.
100%.
And on the same level of Publix or Fresh Market sometimes. Because I think he gets their meat from Rincon.
I think they source it from,
I think it's from Rincon.
Georgia Farms.
Yeah, it's pretty local.
And not because they're trying to be organic or fucking support anything
cheap.
local. It's just cheaper and closer to get
Kroger uses the lights in their meat section that make it look better. Notice you look at it when you're there and you're like, oh, that looks so red and nice. You get home and you're like, this shit is pink. This shit is pink. It's not red. Like they use
like a UV tinted light or
whatever
something.
Kind of light there that makes the meat look better while you're in the store.
Lightgate at fucking Kroger.
Lightgate.
We gotta
investigate. Investigative reporter.
That'll be a fucking from behind the state cast investigation.
Come in with a flashlight. Be like, let me see your real meat.
Sir, show me your real meat. I've got this big frock on. I don't care.
I'm here on behalf of Temple Grandin and her cow farming techniques.
I'm here by the order of Temple Grandin, and she wants to know if those cows were those cows walking in circles before they were slaughtered.
Don't push that cow in the water.
Well, we're out of our drinks, so it's time to take our first break. We'll be right back.
Order of Temple Grandin.
By order of Temple Grandin.
That's great.
And we are back. Cheers. I feel like I'm steak drunk now.
That was a lot of meat.
Giant fucking ribeye that we sous vide and then followed up with a
Stone Street Cabernet from Alexander Valley, which is in Sonoma, in California. So Sonoma is one of the northernmost wineries in California. So if the state's your book's the state, Sonoma's up here, then Mendocino's above that, Napa's right below Sonoma, and Alexander Valley is in the northern part of Sonoma. Lots of mountainous region there.
Are they known for their Cabernets? Because
they are definitely known.
Because I love a good mid 2010s Cabernet.
That's what you said. You were like, I don't want no pandemic Cabernet.
I want pre-pandemic Cabernet or post-pandemic.
I would like not any COVID grapes, please.
Because after
can you smell the COVID grapes?
They have to make it all in the toilet so that it's sanitary and safe.
Yeah, the wine wears a mask. Wearing a mask is kind of controversial at times.
It's been controversial, but it's also been confusing to some people, I think, because when I got to work the other day, Hunter, he was like, man, I wish you would have got here just a little bit earlier because I had this girl at this table and she was wearing a mask. And every time she went to eat or drink something, she would pull the mask up over her eyes
to eat,
to take a bite of blind eating and blind drinking. Which I'm like, and I went to Walmart today to get these wine glasses and like some other shit, whatever. And I felt kind of bad because I forgot my mask and there were a lot of people masked up in there. But like, I don't like do what you want to do. Like, if you want to fucking wear a mask, please do. I'm just not going to at work because
you work outside.
I work outside and I'm bartending, so I'm at least fucking 6 feet from you no matter what. But I was just like, she pulled it up over her eyes. Yeah, he's like, I don't know why she didn't just pull it down. I was like, don't ever try and understand why people
don't fix her. Don't fix her. Let her do that.
I was like,
was she an adult?
Give that gift. Well, see, the way he described her, and if he had any interest in her, she was probably between the ages of 18 and 24.
Okay, yeah.
So
otherwise, he wouldn't have been looking at all.
Yeah.
Did he want her with the mask over her eyes? He's like, do I have a new fetish now?
She's like, you're really hot. He's like, pull the mask down and then tell me.
Yeah. Never mind.
So I have the audio for this comes out on a Tuesday and the video comes out on a Thursday. But this Thursday, August 19th, I'm hosting a show at the Tybee Post Theater. It's called Live and Local from the Living Room. It's going to be like an interview show where I'll do an opening monologue. And then we'll introduce a band. I'll interview the band. We'll introduce another band. I'll interview them, and then show's over.
You say live from the living room. Is there like a couch and stuff?
Yeah, so it's going to
be real late night style.
Yeah, so it's going to be late night style where I do like a monologue, like 10 minutes or something like that. Maybe not even that. Then after the band gets done playing, I'm going to interview the lead singer over on a proper
desk and
the only thing
situation.
is we don't have a desk, so it's like I'll it'll be like couch and couch or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
But just to spoil the joke, I'm gonna wear like super short shorts, And
Because they can't see you behind them.
Yeah, well, the thing was, I'm going to be like, they told me this was on Zoom. So I was going to be doing this from Zoom. And then when I showed up, they're like, oh, we'll find a desk for you. Nah, they couldn't find a desk. So this is what you
if
get.
they brought you like a high school like a desk with a little thing on? You're like, I can sleep on this.
I'm like the fucking the high school PE teacher. My balls are going to be hanging out the fucking side of my little shorts there.
Run, boys.
But after the break, we always have the Karen of the week.
Shit. It's the Karen of the week. It's the Karen of the week.
Shit.
Ooh, Karen.
Who's our Karen of the week brought to us by this week?
This Karen of the week is brought to you by Grant again.
Again from last week.
But Grant is foregone eHarmony because it's full of booga wolves, as Grant said. And I'm not sure, but they're on eHarmony. If you want to search booga wolves on eHarmony,
You didn't even use that term earlier when you were telling me about this shit.
You know why? Because what the fuck is a booga wolf?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But he said it was having no success. Lots of fat chicks, upper body shots where you couldn't see the whole thing.
Sure.
He's trying to find a woman with no kids. He's already gone through the kids thing.
Right.
He doesn't want to.
But is he looking like what age group is he looking in? Because
It's pretty broad, but he's looking for
Yeah.
a woman with not 7 cats or kids.
Right. So
And
if she doesn't have kids, she's got cats. Probably.
It's one or the other apparently. So Grant's moved on to Bumble, ladies. It's your move.
Grant
Nelson.
Nelson.
Grant Nelson, artist in New Orleans. Great guy.
Oh, you
Big
showed me
smile.
his work a few minutes ago. It's really great. Yeah. Hey, Google Grant Nelson New Orleans artwork first.
Yeah. Check out his art.
Then go to Bumble.
And find Grant.
Hey, fuck
and
yeah.
I don't know how Bumble works. Ladies, you have to make the first move on Bumble. So you reach out to Grant.
Be like,
and
hey.
he'll stroke back to you.
Hey, that art is pretty artsy.
Very colorful.
Remember, you can email us at FromBehindTheBarCast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your Karen stories, your Darren stories, your bar tales. You can also leave us a voicemail at anchor.fm/FromBehindTheBarCast. I'm so steak and wine drunk now. It's nice, though.
There's a link on our last YouTube page that I made to Rob, who was like, hey, I got a story. I'm like, do it here. He goes, I'll just text you.
It's like, I understand. Anyone could fucking text us,
Yeah.
but like, we want to hear your voices,
Yeah.
I'd love to play some voicemails.
I'd love to hear Rob's voice on the radio. He's got a good voice. He's a good storyteller.
He's a good storyteller, but through the phone, he might be like, what do they call it? Like the mid-Atlantic accent, He's like, and the dogs ran down the street, and then all of a sudden, he had to
I was
go
going more
fuck himself in
the
the bathroom.
teacher from Peanuts.
So this week we have a dual Karen because
This Karen is so big, it takes both.
and I'll put a picture of it up on our socials last week. But so I don't go into this place because this place it's another pizza place on Tybee, and it's like literally 2 blocks away from us. But they don't ever get any business, and like I've never known anyone the only people that go there if they mistake that place for being Huckapoos.
The only thing they have y'all don't have is wings.
Right, and I don't even know. They might not even have wings now with the fucking wing pandemic.
No, they might have to go to do thighs.
go
apparently.
to Thigh Stop.
Yeah, so because Wingstop's Thigh Stop now, sponsored by Rick Ross apparently.
I think he's like he's got a steak in it or something. Just like
He's got to.
Just like I think
He's got a thigh in it, not a
I
steak.
think I think Killer Mike is a part of it. Like I think there's a lot of rappers that have like some steak and wings.
You mean rappers like wings or thighs? That's new.
And so I thought so I see this picture on Facebook, and someone had went in there, and they're like, oh, this is like they didn't see a human.
Because the staffing has been hard right now on everybody. It's hard to get people to come
That's
work.
what they say, but like where I work, we haven't had staffing issues at all because the people that work there like
working there.
working there, and they get paid well.
Yeah. And y'all haven't slowed down.
And we don't
since
slow
you went
down
back
ever,
to full
hardly.
service.
Yeah.
Even when you had parking lot tables,
Right,
you were
yeah.
still busy.
We were still busy no matter what because not only our local following, but just like, like.
And you're outside.
And we're outside.
I mean,
so
even
that
the
makes it a lot
inside is
easier, yeah.
outside.
So I see this picture of this other pizza place, which is 2 blocks away. The first thing I noticed about the picture was, so at Huckapoo's, at our inside bar, our ceiling is covered with records, like record sleeves. And actually, tragically, a lot of those records are
have the vinyl in
that
there
have
still.
the actual fucking vinyls in there. So like
my father donated some to the cause.
They never fall down. They're put in there with fucking sheetrock screws. So when people,
okay, I was always wondered.
So when people donate them, I just go through them and pick out any choice cherry shit, and I bring it home, and then the rest just fucking sit in the back forever. So I look at this picture, and the first thing I noticed was their ceiling was covered in something, and it was like old 6-packs, like the Carrier 6-pack cardboard cases.
Okay.
They've been stapling those to the roof, and I'm not saying that they're like fucking biting off a piece of the fucking Huckapoo's nostalgia or something.
A piece of
like
that pie,
but it certainly looks derivative of what the fucking Huckapoo ceiling looks like.
I haven't been in there since they bought that building.
I've never set foot in there since George's, George's was like 2007 or 8 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, all right. So the other part of the picture was a giant fucking screen. It looked like they have at McDonald's now, but it was called Karen the Kiosk. And so it was a giant, TV screen that was like touchscreen or whatever, where you do all your ordering. But the thing was, they had not post-it notes, but they had taped pieces of paper up onto this fucking thing that said, "We love our staff, but we just can't clone them, and no one wants to come to work because of all the free handouts," or some shit like that.
All the free handouts that aren't happening anymore.
I haven't seen a fucking handout.
I mean, as far as I know, they stopped doing the extra unemployment in June, so now you just get base, which is not it's like $350 a month. It's not a lot.
Not
enough to stay home.
Yeah. And it's not enough to not go get a fucking job.
But it might be enough to not work at Lighthouse.
But that's what I'm saying. See, everything that I've seen from places that are like, oh, we can't have any staff because everyone's getting a handout, or people who don't want to work, or they're too lazy. And I look at the place that's saying that.
Yes, most of them are kind of shitty employers.
I'm like, no one wants to fucking work for you.
Yeah.
They don't want to get fucking paid less than they should. And they don't want to deal with your fucking dumbass, whatever.
Yeah, your management or your bad customers, and maybe get COVID, so they don't want to deal with all of that. Or
your fucking bad customers because treating you like shit, and your fucking employer treating you like shit. There's no fucking reward there.
That's why we've had kitchen problems a little bit, but the front of the house has stayed strong the whole way through. And a lot of local restaurants, I know people that manage a few restaurants. My boy Larry manages Churchill's. He's kept his staff solid because he treats them right. He gives them days off. They close for a while, one day a week, just to give. Yeah. I mean, like Caitlin did it at Bubba Gumbo's.
Yeah.
She was like, "Look, we're going to close on Tuesdays, just so we know, all know you got a day off. Right. Every week, guarantee this is your day off.
Even though we're short staffed and we need all of you.
Yeah, but that one day a week.
But we're going to take that. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll suffer that day until we have enough staff to make sure you're at least getting a day or two off a week.
Not like other places that are like, oh, we'll just open at 11 and close at 8, and then give everyone a single shift instead of.
That's a novel idea.
Instead of having to pay them for doubles.
We'll close before the sun goes down.
During the summer, during the fucking, it's crazy.
It was like a weird idea. Papa's Barbecue closes at 7 now on Fridays and Saturdays. It used to be 8. It's down to 7.
And Papa's is a barbecue place down here, or in Savannah at least. And like good barbecue places, they close at like fucking 2 p.m. because they ran out of all the fucking meat that they smoked the day before, because barbecue it's not cooked to order. Yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying, it's like you run out of it. Like, you cook enough for the next day or whatever.
Yeah, and then that's what you do. But yeah, they close at 7.
They're just going to close no matter what.
I called there a year ago. They were just doing takeout only. It was 8:30. I'm like, hey, I want to get some fried shrimp. And the guy's like, oh, we're closed. I'm like, oh, got me. So yeah, I want to get the large fried shrimp. And he's like, we're closed. I'm like, why? He goes, I don't know. I do not know. He was confused by it also.
He was
perplexed by it too. And at the time, we knew the manager there, and Greg had said to me, he's like, the owners want to close at 8. And then when he left, they went to 7. To 7. I just can't see closing for dinner on a Friday or Saturday.
You're not even open.
With the sun out.
You're not even open good yet until 5:30 or 6. Yeah. Like, who's coming out to eat before 5? Like dinner before 5:30.
I mean, I get on a Sunday. Okay.
Right, yeah. But this is a fucking Friday.
You're getting barbecue, so you've been to church. You get that. Get your barbecue, you're tired. But not on a Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They have secret good fried shrimp there. Yeah. Like, it's one of their best things.
There's a barbecue place on Tybee, unmentionable, but the only thing you want to get there is fucking their fried shrimp because they get it from the dock.
I heard their ribs taste like hot dogs. Or hot dog water.
Hot dogs with fucking ketchup as a barbecue sauce.
Oh, that was a good burn.
So the girl that took this picture of this other pizza place with the Karen Kiosk.
How the
Kiosk. Fuck?
Oh man, I
don't care how out of tune you are.
You got to think the person that named that was 50 plus, right?
I don't care how old you are. You
Or
can't
they
be
were
that much
22
out
and
of
they were
touch. Yeah.
They quit soon after.
Yeah, or they got fucking fired soon after. They're like, wait a minute, Karen.
Hey, now, I've been called that 85 times this year.
Is that what that means? What the fuck?
Is that what this haircut symbolizes?
So you're doing all this shit yourself. And then at the end, it asks for a gratuity.
What? After you do all the work, they're like, hey, tip me for you being...
So then she was like, who the fuck am I tipping?
Yeah.
Because if you own this fucking business, I'm definitely not tipping the owner of this fucking business.
You don't tip at a fast food place?
I
mean, if anything, I would tip at Chick-fil-A, but like they're like, it's my pleasure.
Right,
I don't want this.
And they deserve, but you would be tipping an employee.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be tipping
a good Christian employee.
You wouldn't be tipping Dan and Kathy or whatever the fuck his dumbass name is.
Some gay basher.
And the thing is, like, I love the gays. I'm a.
Oh yeah, you've married some.
I've married gays before, but that doesn't stop me from getting chicken sandwiches.
The Lord's chicken is fantastic. And I've tried all the competing sandwiches except for Burger King, which is supposed to be good, but it's just so far.
But you know it's not going to be a Chick-fil-A.
It's just not as good
You know
as
it's not going to
Chick-fil-A.
be Chick-fil-A.
If Chick-fil-A would make a spicy chicken sandwich 50% larger, I would never even look at Popeyes when I rode by again. That's the only thing about Popeyes. Their sandwich is a little bit bigger, so I only need to eat one.
The only time I was ever going to try it, there's a fucking 40-car line.
It's still up. And you want to see a line? Sunday. It is ridiculous.
Oh, right. Because
Chick-fil-A is right down the street, and you can ride by and be like, no, today.
Well, I was going. So our Popeyes, well, the one that I know in Savannah, is located really close to the fucking Home Depot. And I was going to the Home Depot one day, and I got caught in a traffic jam, which I thought was the typical Skidaway Victory traffic, which is like
the Truman area is terrible.
Which is a high traffic corridor here in Savannah. I thought that's what it was.
You thought you were in the
Once
Home
I got
Depot line?
close, it was because of the line coming out of the fucking Popeyes, came all the way into the fucking to the main thoroughfare.
Oh,
and people were having to merge
to go
around.
down Skidaway.
It was fucking crazy.
Oh, the first time Fro went, he waited 40. No, he didn't go. His wife went when he was in the hospital. He waited 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not doing. Like, I went the first time I went. It's because I rode by. I had already had lunch. I wasn't even that hungry, but there wasn't a long line.
But you rode by and saw the opportunity.
And so I
because
just
there
got
wasn't
in the
a
line,
That-
and I got in, and I.
That'd be about the
suffered
only way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the next time I went, it was the same situation. I rode by and I was going to Saigon Bistro to get pho.
Yeah.
I was like, I can eat the pho later.
I'll grab
And the
this
chicken
right.
sandwich is great.
And it's kind of crickly and craggly, right? Like
Yeah.
it's got a lot of
And
like
the pickles were
crunchy
thicker.
bits on it.
The pickles were thicker.
But are they dill pickles or bread and butter pickles?
I think they're dill. They're
Okay.
they're not as crunchy.
Understood, but I hate bread. I hate like the bread and butter pickle.
The sweet pickles?
I hate the
Yeah.
sweet pickle.
Remember Sweet Pickles when we were kids? The books. There was like a thing of books that came in like a school bus little container, and you'd pull them out.
No, they were
small.
called sweet.
It was like you went from Sweet Pickles to Berenstein Bears, so
Right,
they were
yeah.
like very young. Berenstain Bears.
Berenstain
Stain Bears.
STAIN.
I didn't mean to dead name Berenstein.
Holy
Bears.
shit! Well, the thing was, like, talk about the Mandela effect. Like, that was super real to me.
Yeah.
Because I was STIN.
Yeah,
for all my
forever.
life. I never thought Mandela was dead. I knew he was in prison, but the Baron and I literally had to I had to research it for like an hour.
Oh yeah, that was. I think your mom's house got me on how to say it correctly. And I was
Oh
like,
right.
Oh no.
See, man, I discovered it like a year before they said it on your mom's house, and I was like, this is It was on Reddit. I was like, this is fucking bullshit. STAIN.
Yeah. Had
That's
no
just
idea.
real as fuck. So yeah, you're at this fucking Karen Kiosk, no employees, and I wonder if like
Does he complain if you push buttons too fast?
it's-
We kind of need to maybe go by and investigate. this.
I feel like I fucking have to, but I like it's not that as if we have a rivalry with them because
It's not a rivalry when you're the Jordan Chicago Bulls and they're, I don't know, Croatia's basketball team.
yeah, exactly, yeah, fucking Lithuania in the mid '90s or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
It's not a rivalry.
But the thing is, it was super surprising to see that they had like stapled shit to their ceiling. That was like
That's a very odd.
I know,
move.
man. That's what took me most by surprise. So then, like,
Maybe
now
they'll have wings tonight in the quarter. We'll go by there.
so the fucking wing pandemic, like, might be
The
worse
wing-
than
the
that.
wingdemic?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
it's bad.
wingdemic might be because we mentioned it earlier, but now Wingstop is Thigh Stop.
Yep. And Buffalo Wild Wings has Buffalo
Wild Thighs now, and then our local place, the Quarter.
Well, 1 week. This has been seven
This will be
times now.
7 weeks.
Tonight will be 8.
And we used to think that the wings were what kept them afloat. I mean, they sell lots of beer and liquor.
Yeah.
But
And
like
burgers, but like the
90% of the time, if I was going to eat there, wings were
a part of whatever
it
it was.
I might get egg rolls too. I might get a basket of French fries. I might get some onion rings.
But definitely.
But I was getting wings, and I was you can mix flavors, so you can get hot yaki, you can get hot lemon yaki, you can get hot slap your mama yaki.
Yeah, I was telling Shay about this again the other night on Saturday when we saw you.
Yeah,
and Shay was like, "Well, now I kind of want some wings." I was like, "Don't call the quarter." He called the crowbar, got 20 wings to go. And you know what they had? Big fat wings.
So there's a shortage. So we're just starting to figure this out, and with the new thigh stop and Buffalo Wild Thighs.
Which we love thighs.
Of course. I prefer thighs, but that's not going to be the same.
Not as a buffalo.
Not as a buffalo
wing.
fried wing. No, not at all. Breaded or not.
A thigh is a two-hander.
Right, and thigh is my favorite part of the chicken.
But you can't eat. I'm not going to get a 10-piece thigh.
You can't fucking, it's the difference between jam and jelly.
Oh, and what did the Wingstop have? The thigh stop has boneless thighs. What the fuck is a boneless thigh?
I've taken bones out of thighs before and cooked them in curries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To get that flavor out of there.
But not a handheld boneless thigh.
I'm intrigued by that idea, but I only want one. You will sell me just one boneless thigh.
Let me get one rib.
Let me try. Yeah, let me get one rib.
Let me get one.
Karen,
rib.
I would like one rib. Yeah. Does Karen complain when you push the wrong buttons and she yells at you?
I was about to say, if it's named Karen, it better have some sort of fucking...
And it was yellow, blonde. It was blonde. It was definitely blonde.
It definitely, all those things taped to it, it looked just like a fucking bad dye job on a fucking Karen haircut. But I'm like, does it tell you, does it say, I want to talk to your manager after you press the wrong button or something?
Yeah, you mess up. It's like, okay, we're getting manager for you.
I want to talk to your personal manager. I want to talk to your assistant.
It's a Karen move almost, because you're blaming society for you not being able to staff.
For you not being a good
owner,
owner or employer or
because they've got another location on the other end of the island that's open and thriving apparently. So
because they get all the walk by traffic there, us and
I tell folks down there, like, look, Tybee Island Pizza is where I send them down that side. You're south end, go to Tybee Island Pizza, see Jeremy. They'll take good care of you. Their pizza's a little bit better in my mind anyways. Granted, I haven't had Lighthouse in, I don't know, in a Karen's Eve. Yeah. It's been a long time.
In a Karen night. In a Fort Karen night.
In a Fort Karen.
But down there, so at Huckapoo's,
you're there or nowhere else?
It's referral basis. Anyone that comes in doesn't just walk by it because we're situated in such a way that you're not just going to walk by.
They don't find your website from 1989?
If you put us into the GPS, if you put our address into the GPS, which is an actual address, it's 1213 US Highway 80. It takes you to the fucking IGA, which is like literally in the middle of the island. Yeah. So when people try and GPS us, like I get calls, like 30% of the calls I get every night are people calling back after they've ordered takeout food. They're like, hey, we're at the IGA. Are you guys like the next block over? I'm like, no, you got
sort of. You're a mile away.
You got to turn all the way around and head like you're going all the way off the island almost.
So since I moved off island, I Uber back to Type when I go out. Every other time I'll Uber out here, and I'd say 60% of the time the cab driver is like, "Where are we going?" I'm like, "Down this road," and they're like, "This guy gonna rob me down here?" Because it doesn't look like you're going anywhere.
No, it doesn't. Yeah,
they fixed the lights finally on the outside, so it looks like you're going kind of somewhere. But then you get in the parking lot and you're at a lively establishment.
Once you get down into the parking lot, but when you first turn in, if it's at night, none of the other shops are open.
No,
so it's like it's really dark and fucking. But then once you drive down like a little bit, there's a happening loud place here.
Yeah, it's very people are a lot
of Ubers have trouble getting there. Like I'll see. Yeah, it's crazy. And I guess it's because another call we get on, and we get these calls at like 5 o'clock or 5:30, and it'll be like, "This is Google. We need to update your business information." And obviously, I always hang up on it because we're on a fucking rotary fucking landline.
Press 1.
I can't press any fucking. I can press the
one.
I can press the receiver.
Operator.
I need help. Where the fuck is Huckapoo's?
I want to talk to Jeff Bezos.
I'm gonna call Elon Musk about this. He'll fix it for me. I had this guy come in the other day, and this could be my Darren, but and I wish I remembered his full name, and I didn't write his full name down because when he told it to me, I was sure that I was gonna remember it because he was like, "Hey, buddy, I'm gonna get 2 Yinglings, and you gonna start me a tab. My name's Jeffrey Williamson, whatever." I was like, "Okay, man," because it was like 6:30. We're not.
Who uses their whole name? And my name is 9 letters, both names, and I say King or Clint.
Maybe it'll become clear in a second, maybe, because it was a weird interaction. I was like, I agreed to it because there was like 20 people in there, and like I could see him wherever he was. So I was like, okay.
He wasn't going to dare you like last week did.
I was like, yeah, Jeff Williamson, gotcha, whatever. So then he proceeds to walk over and get a table for his family that showed up. So it wasn't just Jeff Williamson, it was Jeff Williamson and co. So he goes and sits at the table. He gets his family set up. He's got a server now. He walks back over. He was like, let me get 2 more. I was like, hey, I'll get you these 2, but now you got a server.
Yeah, so let's close out here.
So I was like, I didn't care about closing out with this fucking
They're
dude.
4 Yinglings?
Yeah, the 4 Yinglings, the $8. I was like, here, I'm just going to tell her that you got 4 Yinglings for me or whatever. He goes, all right, man. Jeff Williamson, if you work here long enough, you'll get to know me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, long enough, huh?
And I was like,
must be 10 years, not
like,
9.
Yeah, right. I was like, number one, I've been here for fucking 10 years already, and I've never fucking seen you before.
Are you the longest tenured employee there now?
Yeah, Nikki is.
Nikki's
okay. The only one that's long.
Because it was Vinny, and then it was her.
Yeah. No, it was me. I worked there like literally like 3 months before Vinny.
But you left.
No, I never left.
I thought Vinny was like 11 years.
Yeah, so I'm a long time.
You don't even remember. It's been so long. I have no idea.
It's been such a beautiful ride.
3 lifetimes.
I was there literally like 3 months before Vinny. So the only person that's still there now that was any time before that was Nikki.
So you're the longest nighttime employee.
100%. So
What's that Eric guy in the kitchen?
Yeah, so he's like, if you work, and I was trying to wonder how to take it. I was like, is he new? And like, yeah.
It's a weird thing to say though. If you're new, did you ask Smoot if she knew who he was? Because if not, then he ain't shit.
She wasn't there, so I couldn't cross.
She doesn't know him.
It.
He ain't shit.
It really, if she don't know you, kind of, and
she's only been here like a few years. She's been here like 4 or 5 years.
And she's only been working there for like.
Is she the next mayor of Tybee Island?
Yeah, possibly. If she ran, she'd fucking get it.
She'd be the first black mayor of Tybee for sure.
Oh, 100%. And woman. Oh, no, second woman. I forgot.
It took us until 2018.
It's like, you can still smoke in bars on Tybee.
Yeah.
Everyone's still fucking racist.
Everyone's still racist and sexist. Speaking of being not sexist, but, women getting advantages, Venmo. We've been discussing Venmo for a few weeks here. Discussed with a local friend of ours about the posting on the Venmo window thing. And she said...
Oh, like the window, the back of the... Yeah. All right. So if you haven't listened up until this point, the people have been putting, hey, I'm getting married, buy me a drink. Or, hey...
The future Mrs...
It's all women, though.
The future Mrs. Wilkinson, what was his name?
Yeah. The future Mrs. William S. Scuttlebutt.
Yeah.
Buy me a drink at this Venmo,
You'll
whatever.
remember me.
Yeah. So we're like, hey, send them a fucking $1.
Yeah, for a dry hand job. Plan B or whatever.
But we didn't think that you could send a penny.
Yeah, and this woman sent us a penny.
But Christian sent us a fucking penny.
And so she told me that one of her friends did it and got $400. $400. But used the money to buy the other people in the bridal party food and Ubers the whole weekend.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, now I'm okay with it a little bit more.
Yeah, but did anyone that sent her the money say it was for a dry hand job or Plan B reimbursement?
Not yet. Not yet.
All right, so now here's the thing. Typically, when you see something like that, you don't think that they're going to be
that socially apt to do it with their friends.
Yeah, they're not going to be so philanthropic with the money.
Yeah,
they're just going to be like, oh, fucking more Jaeger bomb or Vegas bombs for me.
Well, she said she put it on there for her birthday and got like $200 on Facebook as a joke, and I'm like, well, you're a girl, you're cute, you're young, that might happen. But I asked,
and people know you.
And I said, well, out of the amount of money your friend got, how much was from people she knew versus those she didn't? Right, and most was people she knew.
I was going to say, like, I would love to know that percentage.
Because she put it on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, also. So
but she also wrote it in chalk on the back of her car or whatever, or shoe polish or whatever.
Shoe polish and virgin tears on the back of her other car. But got $400, like...
Over, like, how long did she leave it up?
I don't know, but we're going to Charleston next week, and you want to go drive around?
We might as well just put some on the back.
How far are we from homeless guys with signs that like Venmo me?
We could use it. We could
homelessjohn.com. Yeah. Hey,
that might be the fucking move.
That's
actually,
the move, right? You speak homeless.
Think about it.
I don't have any money on me. Venmo me, bro.
If I was driving, all right. So there's one spot where all the homeless go in Savannah, and it's the turnoff from Truman Parkway to get back onto the Allen Expressway, because there's a lot of homeless under that overpass over there.
Tent City.
I'm never going to stop.
Shout out to our Tent City listeners.
Tent City, what's happening? Because they all got cell phones.
Yeah, they definitely all have cell phones.
So when I pull up, I'm never going to like roll my window down and be like, hey, come over here and let me give you $2. Like, I have cash on me.
I just don't want to get close to.
I just don't want to interact. Like, I don't want to interact with anyone.
Yeah, at all.
Out of my car or anywhere. Like, I saw someone we were talking about the other day. We saw each other at the Home Depot and we're really close friends. And we both had our earbuds in and I was like, what's up?
Yeah, I love that. I love somebody a little bit more when I'm like, yo. Like, if I saw you at Kroger tomorrow, both headphones in, I'd be like, sup? We've talked enough.
We've had plenty of time.
Yeah, we don't getting a steak? No, not even enough yesterday.
So, and I don't know if you asked this question, but incrementally, like what was each donation, do you think?
She said a lot of it was 10 and 15s from her friends.
I was going to say, because to get up to $400, you could have like a person that sends you like a bill.
The strangers were dollars and $2 and $5 here and there, the most, but the most of it, the big lumps were friends. Which makes sense, you know?
If we put up a Venmo for the podcast and been like, say, and we'll leave it all public, be like dry hand jobs.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Come up with anything that you want, and then we could repay it to other Venmo. Not all of it. We're going to keep some of the money.
Yeah, we got to buy steaks.
We got
this wine is not cheap.
And mid 2010 Stone Street fucking vineyard.
This is 93 points across the board, guys. This is not cheap wine.
Dude, that's
for the three of you that know how much this cost. And I sell this at work.
And I'm not one of the three.
Yeah, well, I got an industry deal on this.
Just like we got the industry deal on that fucking Yakuza honey last week.
It wasn't that good of a deal, but that Yakuza honey.
My roommate, he saw the big steak that we had. He goes,
shout out Travis for not listening.
Shout out Travis. He'll never listen to this. He was like, what's that, one of them Yakuza steaks from Japan?
I was like, yeah, they rub it down with bullets. You know what, though? Forever, Yakuza steaks.
Oh, no, now I can only, I will never say Kobe or fucking Wagyu.
I mean, when I sell it at work, I'll be like, we have some of those Yakuza steaks.
Tonight, we have a special. It's a 14-ounce Yakuza ribeye. It's dressed with AK-47 bullets, katana knives. It's got a side salad of fingerless gloves and motorcycles.
It's a level 5 Yakuza.
It's tattooed with a beautiful.
This here is actually a tattoo gun. If you read it once, you might die.
We hit it with a flamethrower torture device. That's what gives it the crisp, craggly texture on the outside.
When I come to your table, I'll cut off one of my fingers as I serve it.
If you don't like the steak, yeah. I will present you one knuckle of my finger.
Yes, and then I'll hit it with the brulee torch right at the table so you can eat my medium rare pinky.
So how close are you to taking like 4 rolls of duct tape to work and possibly taping someone to a seat? Because now it seems like an appropriate and acceptable thing to do.
I mean, look.
I don't work in an airline.
Unless your parents make $2 million or $3 million, you got to value your family to ride on Spirit Airlines. That's like being on a Greyhound bus and being like, my parents are rich.
It's the Greyhound of the sky. And then when you say, my parents are rich, $2 million. And look, I'd be rich if I had $2 million.
My parents aren't worth $2 million either, but like, it's not a lot of money.
But that's not something that you...
That's 1985 braggable income. You're not bragging about $2 million right now. I bet his parents were like, "Shut the fuck up,
Darren! Shut the fuck up, man!" And why are you
buying third mortgage?
We have clout in this town. Why were you riding Spirit?
We had
drunk?
United Airlines miles. We are not that poor right now.
You have an American Airlines fucking credit card, son? Why are you flying Spirit?
Look, if I'm using duct tape at work, it's on mouths, and mouths.
I would I
could put it on their eyes while they eat. Take it off, put it on their eyes.
Or duct tape someone's fucking hands to the bar so they can't fucking bang their bottles against the bar.
Just give them a straw.
Or like the fucking the table drummers. There's a lot of bar drummers, and they're like, and look, I know if you're feeling the song, whatever.
You like drummers a little bit.
I mean, I know about a little drum thing here or there, but what I don't do is sit at a fucking bar and go, oh, I love this fucking track.
Even that was too much for me.
That's what I'm saying.
I was like, no, please don't.
And then I was getting to work the other day, and someone was like yelling or like commotion was happening, like loud commotion, and someone was like, "You didn't react to those loud noises at all." I was like, "Yeah, of course I didn't," because like the moment you react to anything that anyone does as an outburst, then they think that's a way to get attention.
It's a positive reinforcement.
And if you reward them with that fucking attention, then they're going to continually do it. And
it's like a 5-year-old.
Exactly.
And some drunk folks are 5-year-olds.
Are 5-year-olds. A fucking bar is basically a drunk daycare.
I've been here since 10 a.m.
I've been here since 10:45. He's leaving, not me.
He also bragged to multiple other people I've talked to about being there that night.
That he had been
and they were like, "Oh, I knew who it was because he told me he was there since 10:45 that morning at another point in time. Not even when he said it to you, to other people. That was his like catchphrase of the night.
Theme of the day is like, been here since 10:45.
It's not Plymouth Rock, dude. Get the fuck out of here.
It doesn't make you any better that you were the first here. It's actually
yeah. Anyway, show up for the podcast that day at 10:45. Yeah, right. We're ready to go by then.
Let me be on the podcast. You were.
Yeah. Congrats.
All right, guys. Thank y'all for listening this week. This was super fun. Thank you for the steak.
It's a good week.
Thank you for the Stone Street mid-2000s Cabernet Sauvignon.
Alexander.
Again, you can catch us on YouTube. Just look up Paxton Eugene. You can send us an email FromBehindTheBarcast@gmail.com. We're on Facebook and Instagram at From Behind the Barcast. Leave a voice message, anchor.fm/From Behind the Barcast. And our P.O. Box is P.O. Box 191, Tybee Island, Georgia, 31328. We will see y'all next week.